Hey, yay, hey, yay. Claressa Shields says she has a big announcement. However, one of the big concerns is she's kind of sending mixed signals ahead of that announcement, almost in between multiple worlds. Are you a boxer? Are you a reality star? Are you disciplined? Are you undisciplined? These are the things we shall talk about in this video. I shall unpack these topics. You don't want to miss it. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. To say Claressa Shields' career in recent memory is troubled and controversial at this point would be an understatement. Now, here's the thing. Claressa took to social media stating she had a big announcement coming up, right? She says, I got an announcement. You guys are going to want to tune in. Now, the first thing is she entered the ring fresh off of the Baddies performance or audition or whatever she had going on there, right? And a lot of fans, including myself, noticed she kind of looked disheveled, right? Kind of looked like run down a bit, as if like she had a long night, possibly hungover, dehydrated. Her voice sounded bad. In fact, I'll just pull up a picture. There's a picture for you guys so you can see, right? So she had just got this wig installed and it just looks like a mess and disheveled. She took to social media and didn't really say much of anything, but I'll let you listen to it.
Now, quote real quick. They're saying that, you know, everybody's looking forward to you and what's next. There's so much happening. I'm hearing there may be some announcements coming. Can you talk about what's next for Claressa Shields?
Just more and more big fights. It'll be announced on Wednesday. I can't.
Announced on Wednesday.
I can't say who. I can't say where. I can't say what weight class. But what I do.
You hear the stuttering? It's like you're unprepared. You seem like it's hard getting the words out. Looks like you have days old makeup on. Hair looked like uncombed, unkept. And you're stuttering. It just, your voice sounds hoarse. It just, to me, was a bad look, right? It's a pretty straightforward question. Now, also, I want you all to pay attention to the fact that she said she can't say the opponent. She can't say when, who, what, when, where, why, or even the weight class. So it's like, what is the point of, I guess, doing an interview if you can't confirm really anything? Pay attention.
Well, real quick. They're saying that, you know, everybody's looking forward to you and what's next. There's so much happening. I'm hearing there may be some announcements coming. Can you talk about what's next for Claressa Shields?
Just more and more big fights. It'll be announced on Wednesday. I can't say who. I can't say where. I can't say what weight class. But what I do know is that all my fans are going to show up. Jaquan will be on the undercard, and I'm just so excited for all the Claressa Shields and.
You hear her voice?
Fighters, because what I do know is that all my fans are going.
Listen to the stuttering in the voice.
I can't say what weight class, but what I do know is that all my fans are going to show up. Jaquan will be on the undercard, and I'm just so excited for all the Claressa Shields and Salida and Win Records fighters, because we really is building a strong brand and we got some great fighters.
And of all time in the
So I found that to be a bit weird. And I think Claressa is doing harm to her career. I've been on record saying that. My thing is this, is now you're trying to enter a whole different lane. As you see, I guess this is a Salida / Claressa fighter. And again, you're stuttering, you got your head down, so the body language doesn't look good. Papoose is like kind of aimlessly in the background. For what reason, right? Well, like, what is going on with these people? It's very weird stuff. Head still down. Can't really reveal anything. Like, look, I mean, let me know what you think in the comment section. Look at this hair. Like, if any other like celebrity, she says I have $8 million, constantly throwing that in people's face. If any other celebrity pulled up to their fight card and it looked like they haven't slept or they just woke up from a nap, I mean, I think the commentary would be the same no matter who it is, you know? And I think a lot of the GWOAT stands want to give her a pass because she is accomplished, but I keep it consistent no matter who you are. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's a bad look if you're trying to be a promoter as well, right? You want to be a promoter, you're putting on a whole different hat. Now, every move you make can affect the whole shebang. Manish on the beat, shebang, right? The whole thing, because now you're one of the faces of the promotion. And you were ringside if you were indeed hungover, if you're sick, if you lost your voice. Why even allow her to get in the ring in this status on the zone, on the platform? I'm not really understanding it. Like, why even do an interview if you're not up to it, or your voice is gone, or you're out of commission? And then you want to live on social media. So it was heavily advertised that you were going to be a judge for baddies. I don't know what happened. I don't know what you had going on that caused this. But for me, this is looking like a conflict of interest, because you show up to Zeus Network with your hair freshly pressed and had your hair done or whatever, right? And that's how you come into Zeus, right? So you're coming to your job. We know you for being a boxer, right? This is how you're presenting yourself. You don't really look as presentable as needed, especially as promoter. And you don't look in the status to get on the mic, as I mentioned. And then you're showing up to Zeus like this. So you in the comment section, please make that make sense. Where I wouldn't even know who Claressa Shields was if it weren't for boxing. So you made it this far through boxing. That's the only reason I even know who you are. I don't like her rapping. I don't listen to her singing. I don't watch shows like Baddies, and I don't even have Zeus Network. So I have no interest in any of these endeavors. I don't think she can cook, right? So she wants to wear all these different hats outside of the world of boxing. But for me, as a fan, I've watched her, I've covered her, I've interviewed her in the past. For me, the only thing I care about that she really does, that I actually encourage, is the boxing. I think she's a talented fighter, right? I don't drink alcohol, so this don't impress me. You have a bottle of Don Julio, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, and then you have to understand you are a brand. You're a promoter and a brand. Remember when Oscar De La Hoya, his fighter, Canelo Alvarez, at the time, they're no longer together, but at the time, Canelo Alvarez had his biggest fight to this date with Floyd Mayweather. right? The night before or shortly before the fight, Oscar De La Hoya checked into a rehab because he was dealing with substance issues, and he missed his own fighter's biggest fight night, Canelo versus Floyd Mayweather, right? So most of us in the boxing world gave Oscar De La Hoya an earful. Like, wow, how are you Golden Boy Promotions, the owner and the founder, and your biggest star, probably the biggest star you've ever had, because Golden Boy didn't manage his own career. He did that like after he had already retired. So Oscar was a big star. But as far as fighters you managed, Canelo is probably the biggest star you've ever managed, bigger than Ryan, Garcia, or whoever. And to miss Canelo's big fight with Mayweather that did great numbers because your personal life had intervened and you couldn't control your demons or vices or whatever, everybody said it was a bad look. So in the same vein that I had that commentary for Oscar De La Hoya, Claressa Shields is not exempt. How are you showing up to Zeus Network? This is all, for me, this is extracurricular stuff. Again, for me, I'm a boxing fan. I'm a boxing channel. So I have very little interest in all this other extra stuff. I'm not going to be watching those particular shows, right? So your hair looks way better here. You're smiling. I'm sure your voice wasn't hoarse, right? And because you're living it up with a bottle of Don Julio, sweating out your wig and those types of things, it's affecting your job. And again, some people are like, oh, ego, come on, it's no big deal. But it is. If you want to be a promoter and you're talking about, I got a fight announcement, you got to look at the optics. What are the optics that you show up to baddies, which again is extracurricular, and then you show up to your real job like this? So I don't drink. I've never done any drugs. I used to drink socially just occasionally, but for years I haven't drank, just a personal choice, right? Never smoked a cigarette. That's my life, right? So hypothetically speaking, let's say I was an addict and I got to be at work on Saturday. Let's say I work a regular 9-to-5 job, right? I used to work at Lowe's back in the day, so we'll use that. I'm working at Lowe's at 8 a.m. And on Friday, I have the day off, but I got to be at work on Saturday at 8 a.m. If I was somebody who partied hard or did drugs or whatever, you do all that stuff, stay up super late, and then now you're coming to work at 8 a.m. and my hair's a mess, my eyes are bloodshot, my voice is like real raspy, like jaded kids. I mean, my clothes are like sloppy. They're worn sloppy. It looks like I haven't showered. And then I got to help customers. I got to, as a manager, people got to, come up to me in my office and ask questions. Again, whether you're talking about a 9-to-5 job or even a job like boxer and promoter, is a bad representation of your brand. You know what I mean? Like, one person that I look up to and idolize is Kobe Bryant. I've always said that. Big fan of him. I actually have a poster, if you can see it, of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant in the back right there. And I remember Kobe Bryant was like, one of the big things that I love about Kobe is the Mamba mentality. He would always talk about it, Mamba mentality. And he's saying, like, sometimes the players would be like, yo, stop being such a stiff. Come out and drink with us. And then there's an interview with Kobe. He was like, all right, fine. I'll come out and drink and party with y'all and do what y'all want. But tomorrow morning, let's not forget why we're here in this city, right? Let's say they were playing in Boston or whatever, right? Playing the Celtics. He's like, let's not forget the task at hand. And he said no matter if he stayed up and drank and he was tired, he would get up at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, boom, 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 bang on the people's door like, yo, get up. We hitting the gym now. This is what we're here for. We here for the Lakers. All that extra stuff, this is what y'all wanted to do, fine. But now come get this work. And he said people would be, imagine trying to do drills and practice and shoot 1,000 shots and all that when you're hungover. So people probably learn real quick, like, all right, let's not invite Kobe or let's tone it down before big games. But that interview always is stuck with me because it shows you somebody like Kobe Bryant who was locked in, where he's like, no matter what, we're here for a job. And he's showing up. Claressa, credit to her, she showed up, but you're also showing up looking kind of rough and like haggard. And then you're supposed to be promoting fighters. The other thing that I might mention is the fact that you went on a rant after you hit Alicia Baumgardner. You went on a rant threatening to sue MVP, threatening to sue Alicia Baumgardner. And what Claressa said is, I don't need MVP. I don't need Jake Paul. I don't need Nikisa. I'm the star. I'm the GOAT. There's no one that you have that can whoop me. No one that you have that's bigger than me. I'm the ticket, right? I don't need MVP for nothing. And then she kept reiterating, y'all try to sign me. I said, no, I'm with Salida and I'm with Win. But let's be honest. Fast forward to the future, it's looking like a mistake. Win and Salida don't seem to be able to talk any sense into you or don't care or whatever's going on there because you keep doing these things that are hurting and impacting your brand negatively. Hitting people in public at events you really didn't need to be at, getting banned by MVP. You're, again, promoting drinking alcohol, right? And then days later, you got a big announcement for a fight. This is just terrible. The timing is terrible. And why do you seem more like, how do you show up? I'm going to say the same thing. How are you showing up to Zeus, which is like extracurricular? This is not really what's paying you your bread and butter. I thought it was $8 million contract through Zeus. So how do you show up looking like this for Zeus, and then you having fun and drinking, and then you show up to your real job and you're showing up looking like this? And if you acting like you don't see a difference there, then you must have Claressa's glasses on or Stevie Wonder's glasses. There's definitely a difference there. So I don't know what's wrong with Claressa Shields. I don't know what's going on. Let her to tell it. There's nothing wrong. We're the problem. The fans are the problems. Bloggers are the problem. But the behavior, it seems too much. I feel like sometimes when a person says something to Claressa Shields, she wants, because she's a fighter and she's defiant, she wants to try to prove them wrong. Like Remy says, you want to be a baddie, but you ain't bad enough. So I feel like now she's on the baddie show as a judge. She's trying to go out of her way to prove her worth and seek validation, right? Here is a picture of Claressa Shields at the gym. Again, you got this hat on the top of your head. You're complaining and ranting about fans, and then you're shadow boxing. And let's be real, the shadow boxing looked cool, but you spent more time really addressing negativity and what people were saying in the comment section rather than actually getting down. And I just feel like Claressa's priorities look very, very all over the place, right? And men and women, they got to be congruent with what they say. Claressa Shields put this post up, and she was basically saying, I'm 31. It says, I love myself more than ever, and I'm going to enjoy the fruits of my labor. Enjoying the fruits of your labor is cool, but getting your priorities all scrambled and showing up looking like you're drunk or hungover, and then you expect fans to buy tickets to your fight. I just don't feel like you're not acquitting yourself well. But anyway, she says you accomplish more by being positive, right? This is what she's saying, and moving forward. So I'm not addressing anyone's lies, negativity, or foolery. Have at it. So you literally, this is why people are calling her Lyrissa. After this post was put up, I have all the dates, I have all the times. I'm showing you the post. Literally, after she said, I'm not addressing any negativity, any foolery, let those people have at it because you accomplish more by being positive. She went on a rant talking about her ex friend, Nigeria. Facts. She did another she deleted that one, but I still have it. She went on another live stream rant talking about another ex friend, Jada the boxer, responding to her, right? Why are you putting, I'm not worried about negativity. I love my life. Life is amazing. Life is great. I'm unbothered. I'm not addressing you guys' negativity, right? And then you spend all this time doing the exact opposite, addressing all the negativity ever, right? It makes absolutely no sense. It's like, who is Claressa fooling? What game is being played here? How are you this tone deaf to the point where you think people aren't paying attention to this, right? You think people aren't paying attention to how you're moving, saying this, doing another thing, putting out this post, and then doing the opposite, showing up to work, your real job, right? The one that pays the real bills, showing up looking a mess, but then you're showing up and dancing on cars. Do you want to be a boxer anymore? Right? And hey, I can't tell people what to do. If you don't want to be a boxer, you don't want to be a boxer. Cool. But I think that should be discerned and decided so you can stop wasting people's time. You know what I mean? If you don't have your heart in it, or you don't care no more, or you rather live your life, all these different things. People will have no choice but to adjust to it. But you keep telling us one thing and then doing another. I'm not addressing negativity. And then when you're shadow boxing in the picture I just showed you, right? That's exactly what you're doing, is addressing people's negativity. In fact, let's go to the clip. I think that's the best way. I can show you better than I can tell you. So Claressa Shields went live, and this is what happened. So allegedly she got a fight coming up. She went live, and this is how it went down. And I want you to pay attention to how invested she is in what other people think. And I feel like that, I'm not a doctor, but this can't be good for you. Scrunching up your face, always frowning. And I feel like when she hones in, she's looking at negative comments and reading them coming up on the screen. And she always like really focuses in on the negativity. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. But there's no way that could be good for you being that like indebted to what people have to say about you online. Because watch, again, as she walks up, her face don't look all like pressed. Look, you could literally see a transformation as she gets closer. And look, so right there, she looked regular, regular, regular. And then she gets closer right about here, and she starts to read what people are saying. And you could tell it's negative by her expression. You see, when she starts squinting her eyes, her whole demeanor changed. A scowl forms on her face. And then she starts ranting.
Um, Personally, I would like to say this, and hopefully to the people that's watching who are not supporters of me and who are not fans of me can get off. Um,
She sounds so discouraged, right?
I'm not here to be liked,
I'm not here to be liked. Okay.
right? And I'm not here to be in the business of making you like me and be in a certain way so you like me. If you don't like me, get off my stuff.
This girl says, this is the person who says they want to be a content creator. I don't feel like if this is your approach to negativity on the internet or people having an opinion, I don't think you're cut out for this business. I do this every single day. So I know what it takes to be a content creator. You know, boxers are always like, oh, you don't box, so you don't really know how it is to be a boxer. Well, guess what? I am a content creator. I've been a content creator for double-digit years, so I do know that lane. And in my estimation, it's not good to be so concerned. Like, look at the faces she's making. You know what I mean? Like, these are the faces she's making, reading comments, frowning, scowling, and then trying to control the narrative. You don't get that play. You could put whatever on the internet is going to be received. If people don't like your relationship with Papoose and they're calling you a home wrecker, I mean, look at how the relationship was formed. The man is still married to this day. And whether you like it or not, people are entitled to their own opinion and they can voice that. No more, no less. You cannot dictate how people respond to what you put out. You went on a public domain platforms and you decided to go live, right? This is not like a Costco membership or some secret society. It's social media. So you can't really initially, you could get moderators, but you can't initially control what people have to say. Like, that's the whole purpose of social media, is to interact, engage, and socialize. And I believe Claressa Shields to be a narcissist. She would rather blame everybody else under the sun rather than to listen to what people are saying and implement some of these changes. She's like, hey, stop saying negative stuff about me. The internet doesn't work like that.
Like me, get off my stuff. Remove yourself. You don't have to say nothing. It don't even make sense at this point. People to keep hating on greatness that they can't ever accomplish in life.
Sneak dissing. It doesn't make sense for people to be hating on greatness. I don't think your boxing skills, because the only thing you are, to me, the only thing you're truly great at is your ability to box. So the things people are complaining about online, I have not seen. I have yet to come across a person who says, I don't like Claressa Shields' ability to box. She's just the pits. No one's really saying that. They might say you have 3 knockouts. That's a fact, right? So that's not hate. That's a fact. They might not say you have the best style or something like that, but no one's really even, the stuff people are complaining about is you're mouthy, what you're saying, how you're treating people, how you're responding, your attitude. People are saying you're arrogant. People say, hey, be more humble, show some humility, right? So to come out and say, it's a perfect example. People mad at my greatness, which they will never accomplish. That's what she's saying.
Get off my stuff. Remove yourself. You don't have to say nothing. It don't even make sense at this point. People to keep hating on greatness that they can't ever accomplish in life. You don't like me. You don't like what I do, that I box, how I trash talk, how I rap, whatever you don't like. My relationship, cool. Get off my stuff.
The sense of entitlement is crazy. Get off my stuff, but I want to go on public social media. I leave the comments on, but now I'm trying to police the comments that are coming through. And she's so obtuse that she doesn't realize in the social media online space, by doing this, likely the people who are doing it are going to double down and leave more comments like that. Or they're not going to like your attitude and they're going to be like, you know what? I think you're this way and this way. So she can keep the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, expecting it to yield new results. So the funny thing is, I've been giving Claressa the game, at least from my perspective. She has yet to implement anything that I've said. I said, take a breather, go touch grass, focus more on boxing with a lot of your posts, disappear from social media. She refuses to do any of that and then keeps doing the same thing, which is yielding the same result. That is the definition of insanity. You cannot force me or other people to accept or like or promote certain things or attitudes from you because you don't like their opinion. Oh, you don't like me? You don't like the way I rap? You don't like my relationship? You could go. I mean, the people, when they joined, I'm sure they knew their options as a online user, but acting like this is likely not going to give you the results that you want. That's what I'm saying.
That's it. And if you can't respect that, me just saying, go where you like somebody at. Don't come over here. Because I'm not going to change nothing about me to make you like me. Big facts.
And the hypocrisy from this girl. This is why I believe in my heart of all hearts, she is a full-fledged narcissist. Listen to what she said again, and I'll explain it.
You don't have to say nothing.
You don't have to say nothing.
It don't even make sense.
It don't make sense.
People to keep hating on greatness that they can't ever accomplish in life. You don't like me.
You don't like me.
Like what I do.
You don't like me. You don't like what I do. Pay attention.
That I box, how I trash talk.
You don't like the way I box. You don't like how I trash talk. Pay attention to what she said.
How I rap, whatever you don't like. My relationship.
Whatever you do not like.
Cool. Get off my stuff. That's it.
Get off my stuff. That's it.
And if you can't respect that, me just saying, go where you like somebody at. Don't come over here.
The hypocrisy is off the charts. That's what I'm saying. She should get off the internet ASAP. She just said, if you don't like the way I box, you don't like the way I do this, you don't like my trash talk, you don't like any of these things, cool. Pretty much go that away. Don't approach me. You don't have to be here.
Cool. Get off my stuff. That's it. And if you can't respect that, me just saying, go where you like somebody at. Don't
go where you like somebody at, and then listen.
Come over here.
Don't come over here. So the point I'm making here is, you just said, don't come over here. You hate me. You hate everything about me. You hate the way I box. You hate what I say, trash talk. Then cool, just bounce. Then why didn't you take your own advice when it came to Alicia Baumgardner, right? You were at an MVP event with your boyfriend. She's an MVP fighter. You don't like what she had to say about your relationship, right? You don't like her anymore. You guys used to be friends. You also said she sucks at boxing and boxes like an amateur, even though she won her last fight. And I didn't see all the stuff you seen. I thought she looked great. And it was 3-minute rounds, right? So when it comes to you, this is why I say narcissist. When it comes to you, you're telling fans, hey, if you don't like this about me, you don't like this, you don't like the way I talk, you don't like my trash talk, you don't like the words coming out of my mouth, if you don't like my brand, then cool. Leave. Don't come over here. But you literally accosted and approached Alicia Baumgardner at an MVP event when you could have followed your own rules. This is what I'm telling you. The girl is a hypocrite. You're telling the fans who aren't even really, the fans aren't hitting you. That's a fact. Nobody's running up and like physically assaulting you, right? So the same advice that you were dumping out you could have implemented and you wouldn't be banned currently indefinitely for MVP events. You got banned by MVP because you went and slapped a girl. So I'm not understanding how what you're saying applies to fans who are coming to your live stream. Like it says Claressa Shields is live. So if people want to click on it, it's no cost to them. Yeah, people might tap in. They don't know what your stream is about, right? So here's Claressa Shields running up on Bumgardner. So the same thing you just told the fans, how come that didn't apply to you? If you didn't like what she said about your relationship in interviews, you hate the way she boxes, you hate the way she smells, you hate the way she dresses, you called her a 304, you hate how she gets down, you don't respect nothing about her, then why didn't you use your own rules that you're telling to fans and say, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. So why does the rule only apply to Bumgardner, or it doesn't apply in the Bumgardner situation, but you want the fans to listen to you?
You don't have to say nothing. It don't even make sense at this point. People to keep hating on greatness that they can't ever accomplish in life. You don't like me. You don't like what I do, that I box, how I trash talk, how I rap, whatever you don't like. My relationship, cool. Get off my stuff. That's it. And if you can't respect that, me just saying, go where you like somebody at. Don't come over here.
Don't come over here. So again, I'm asking you to leave me a detailed comment in the comment section. How does that not apply to what you did to Bumgardner, right? When you ran up on her. Why didn't you use your own advice and be like, you know what? This girl talking smack. I don't like her. It could go left. I'm just going to enjoy my night and I'm not going to let it get to me. So you're not even taking your own advice. This is why I said Claressa continues to be all over the place. She wants other people to leave her alone, but she can run up on Bumgardner and then brag about it online saying, get your lick back. Aha, I'm from Flint. Don't talk trash. So you want the fans who aren't professional fighters, who aren't physically harming you, right? You want them to be the bigger persons and be like, you know what? I don't really rock with Claressa, so I'm just going to show myself to exit. But you and Papoose could have did that. You had your whole man there and nobody made you refrain. This is why I believe she's a narcissist, because it makes all the sense in the world. When it happens to you, now you care about it. When it happens to others, you don't.
How I rap, whatever you don't like. My relationship, cool. Get off my stuff. That's it. And if you can't respect that, me just saying, go where you like somebody at. Don't come over here. Because I'm not going to change nothing about me to make you like me. Big facts. I'm just not going to do it. So that you're here and you're saying certain things or you're saying stuff.
So Bumgardner's not going to change how she act for you. And you got mad and you harmed her. Look at the worry. Look at the, like, I almost feel like in recent memory, Claressa Shields is aging faster. Like with the pressure, with this relationship with Papoose. Look at Remy Ma, right? Remy Ma, when she first broke up with Papoose and it was like public and everyone's getting outed, she looked a bit more stressed. Fast forward to recent, ever since you left me, and videos where she's dancing that Booster song, you know what I mean? Remy Ma looked like she's healed and she looking good. Claressa Shields she thought she got the prize with Papoose, and ever since you got in this relationship, it looks like it's aging you. You look more stressed. You're constantly at each other's throats. You're losing friends. Nigeria. You're arguing with ex-friends and cousins, and you got all this different stuff going on. And if you look at the timeline, All of these problems started when you got with a married man right about that time and signed to Win Records. But again, back to it. Like, look at her. Just look at her right there. You look like very worried and bothered. So you're showing up to your fight cards looking a mess. Now you're in the gym working out, not even working out at this portion of it, and complaining, telling people, hey, you should be the bigger person and leave, but you couldn't do that to Bumgardner.
Go ahead. Just bounce though. Because the negativity and stuff is really not needed.
Narcissist. The negativity in people's comments, again, still not hurting you or harming you. That's not needed. But your negativity of saying, I hate the way you run your mouth. I hate the way you run your mouth and hitting Bumgarner. That was what the doctor ordered, huh?
And I don't really care for it. And I don't need you and
I don't care for
certain
it.
things or you're saying stuff. Go ahead. Just bounce though. Because the negativity and stuff is really not needed. And I don't really care for it. And I don't need you and clearly you don't need me. So just bounce. That's all. You ain't gotta be here. To be making all these comments and being like so negative every single day, it doesn't make sense. If you like somebody else, whatever, you should go support them. Help them make money. That's what you do. You don't come over here and harass me. Go. So I should
Again, narcissist. You don't come over here and harass me, but at an MVP event, you stormed and ran down on Bumgardner, cameras rolling, and you're not applying none of this to you. So I don't like people who get in my ear and start preaching about what I should do, but then they don't take their own advice. I believe practice what you preach. Don't tell me to don't eat fast food after midnight, but you doing it. You know what I mean? One, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. You talking about, oh, just leave. Don't come over here then if you don't like me. You don't like Bumgardner and you did all those things. So don't be mad when people are coming to you speaking their opinion. And again, what they're doing is still not as bad as what you're doing because you actually let the words translate and you upgraded that to assault.
so negative every single day. It doesn't make sense. If you like somebody else, whatever, you should go support them. Help them make money. That's what you do. You don't come over here and harass me. Go.
But you can go over there and harass Bumgardner.
So I shouldn't see no more. No. Smell, why are you talking about it? Like I said, you don't like what I'm talking about. You don't like me, my trash talk, my boxing, exit. After this, I shouldn't see not one negative comment. It shouldn't be not one. Everybody who's negative should just go.
This girl's insane. After I said this monologue, I shouldn't see one negative comment. Everybody should go. You do not run the internet. You cannot police stuff like that. And again, I can assure you from being on the internet, the more you cry about it and do all that, the worse it'll probably be. Because you're not, who wants to be silenced? Like, oh, I can't say anything because Claressa Shields. You're not our parents. You know what I mean? She talking about after I said that I shouldn't see one negative comment.
Man, why are you talking about it? Like I said, you don't like what I'm talking about?
Look at her eyes. Look at the stress levels. This does not look, this looks unhinged. Look at how, like, bags under the eyes, you know, anger. You look like rage.
You don't
But you keep getting on here talking about how you're enjoying life and love life and, you know, trying to fake smile through the pain. It look like you should just be offline.
like me, my trash
Look, every
talk, my boxing, exit. After this, I shouldn't see not one negative comment. It shouldn't be not one. Everybody who's negative should just go. It's simple as that. I promise you. It's that fucking simple. And you were nothing but shut box. You shouldn't be having nothing negative to say no damn way. I'm doing my job. Ain't that what y'all want me to do? I got plenty of more jobs too that I make money doing. Y'all just don't know it. I get paid money to take pictures and post them. I get paid money to model clothes.
Who's paying you money to model clothes? What are you talking about? Now, her shadow boxing looked fine. You know, I mean, I don't have nothing to say about that. But you see how mad she got? Y'all shouldn't have nothing to say about that. Unhinged behavior, man. She having a full, look at that face, man. Having a full meltdown for no reason. And again, the more you try to tell people what to do and what they can't do, I just feel like it's not going to work. Now, the other issue is what Claressa does is very passive aggressive. That one, she sounded like almost like borderline, like she wanted to cry, right? My personal opinion. But then hours after that live stream, she tries to flex on people. Like, you have no real like identity. You have no real direction. You're just all over the place. So she did that where, to me, it sounded like she wanted to cry. She sounded like she was having a meltdown and couldn't take the pressure. But then after that stream that I just showed you where she was making all these faces, these harsh faces, she says, "Ain't no humbling me. Go suck a DIC." That's how she's talking to people. Go suck a eggplant. I don't play it safe. Take risk and win. Hashtag flat out with trophies. So now you back big and bad. You wanted to look super tough. Look, and then now she back smiling. It's almost like bipolar disorder. You know, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not saying she's actually clinically bipolar, but that's what it feels like, right? Look, after that stream, I let my top down on my 2026 Corvette Z06 for the first time, and I'm never putting it back up. I felt the bossiest ever, right? Hashtag Corvette, quote. And then now she's trying to flex on people, showing these boots that she already wore, right? She wore that at the museum, I believe. And she's like, look, I got a Corvette. So, man, her team is letting her down bad, because if you can't get no resolution from Claressa herself, somebody on her team should have been stepped in. And, like, you're not going to get the fans on your side acting like this. Hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, and just looping back. So you're showing up to promotional engagements, and it looks like you have less respect for Salida, Win Records, and Gwoat Promotions or whatever than you do for Zeus, which is like a side quest, right? Then you're doing these streams, very passive aggressive, kind of snapping, and it's like you're looking for the negativity. And then when people say, hey, I'm a fan, don't worry about the negative comments, and you're like, oh, you don't like it, you can leave too, I'm blocking you. Like, the girl's all over the place. And then when that don't work, you go back to being arrogant, and people are saying you should humble down. You're like, hey, you can't humble me. Ain't no humbling me. You could go suck a big one, right? The girl crashed out her career. I really, doing all this, I really don't see, she's too tone deaf. I don't see how you're going to recover from all the stuff you're doing, right? We're practically in a recession. Who wants to see you keep trying to flex money in people's face because you feel you're well off, right? People don't have to deal with it. You got 3 knockouts. You're not the most electrifying. You're not Gervonta Tank Davis. You're not a prime Deontay Wilder where people have to watch your fight. You're a good fighter, but don't ever get that twisted like you fight like David Benavidez or something. So all this hot and cold and passive aggressive and belittling and berating fans and not listening to people, we'll see. Trying to control the narrative so bad to the point where you're telling people to get out of your social media. Why don't you start a Patreon, and then only paying people can go to your Patreon? You know what I mean? But if you're on these free platforms like Instagram and YouTube, where you just go live and people can chime in, then you got to be able to accept both sides of the coin. I've seen other celebrities. I've never seen a celebrity deal with it like Claressa, where they need constant validation. And I think she needs a handler. It's like getting like Britney Spears level, where she needs conservationship or somebody like a constant handler to be with her 24/7, or a lawyer or something, and be like, hey, cut that. Hey, don't do that. You know what I mean? They need to find some kind of way to put the proverbial leash on her, a proverbial muzzle, because it to me, it looks like she's cracking under pressure and doesn't know how to handle the negativity. Face it, people, your relationship was never going to be a fan favorite because he's a married man to this day, right? And how it started, it was doomed from the start, if I'm being honest. Now, a lot of y'all wanted the part 3. Tomorrow morning, Claressa is announcing her fight. I'm going to drop the trilogy tomorrow morning on Wednesday. So make sure you come back for that. And I mean, you guys will be shocked by some of the stuff that I uncovered, unpacked, going down this rabbit hole. So come back for the trilogy. Let me know. But yeah, Claressa, she just seems all over the place. And it's like, it's not registering. She's not getting the memo. Let me know what you think. For more boxing, subscribe to the channel. Hype this video up. I'll holla at you. We Unpacked.